right, good morning, everybody. So welcome to yoga, chair yoga today. Oh, there we go. Got somebody joining. All right, so today's focus is going to be a little bit more on relaxation. Maybe just because I'm tired. But anyway, I want to think about yoga as a way to not only stretch the body, but to calm our nervous system. And part of that's going to be through the breath. So I'll explore that as we move along. So start by just sitting in your chair, sitting back if you want to. And then bringing your awareness right into your body. So think about everything that's around you. And then bring your awareness into your body. So we're just going to pause here. The hands can be on the left. Let the shoulders relax. Let the face relax. Good. Soften your jaw. Good morning. Good. Letting yourself settle into your chair. We'll start to come into a natural rhythm of breath. I'm just going to, good morning. Oh, good. So you muted yourself. All right. All right. So settle into your natural rhythm of breath. Notice that you have just a regular way of breathing that you don't have to think about. And notice that when you inhale, some part of your body expands. And when you exhale, something might relax. And just observing what you feel in your body today. You might begin to become aware of any place that's uncomfortable or painful in your body. And don't feel like you need to let go of that or push it away. Just simply absorb it and notice, incorporate it in your whole body scan. Good. And then just take slower, deeper breaths. And notice how that changes what you observe in your body. Complete inhales and complete exhales. So the breath always ties to our movement, and our movement should tie to our breath. You cannot spend an entire hour holding your breath. So make sure that you're still breathing. Good. All right, gently open the eyes if you have them closed. And then take a little bit of movement, just rocking side to side. Noticing what you feel on the sides of the body. Good. And then a little forward and back. Just feeling yourself leaning forward or hinging at your hips and then back. Just kind of checking in, see what's talking to you today. Good. And then we'll take and move the shoulders around, up and back and down a few times. Good. And then move in the opposite direction, slightly back and up and forward. Good. And then with hands on shoulders, we'll start with a little bit of elbows in and elbows out, feeling the space between at the front of the chest and the back of the shoulder blades. I'm just noticing. Good. And then we'll do one elbow in a circle and then the other elbow in a circle, making this a little bit of a twisting movement. A few times, and then we're going to reverse the direction so that your elbows are moving in counter circle of whatever you were doing before. Good. And then let the arms relax. Open and close your hands. Seems like it's been a busy week, at least for me today, so this week. So make some circles. So I'm going to kind of take it a little more gentle and slow today. So you can explore what it feels like to hold a pose and either soften it or strengthen it. Okay. All right. And then relax the hands down, spread out those fingers, flex the palms to the ground, stretch the fingers up and just notice that. All right. Good. And then shake out the hands. All right, moving to the neck for next, let the right ear start to drift to the right shoulder. See if you can bring that left hand to the left shoulder and draw it down so you feel a little more length on that side. See, stretching through that whole left side. Good. And then bring the head back up. And this time with the right hand on the right shoulder, we're letting the left ear drift toward the left. Just think about more length on that right side. Good, and bring it back up. You can do the same thing, or you can let the left hand hold on to the bottom of your thigh or the bottom of your chair. And then as your right ear drifts to the right, you can lean to the right and hold on to the chair so you feel a deeper stretch across that left side. Always just pausing before you go so far that it becomes uncomfortable. Good, and then back up to center and switching sides. So right hand under the thigh or on the bottom of the chair and left ear toward left shoulder. Start to lean to that left side as much as you're comfortable with. Remember, the breath is going to be moving through a slow and steady pace. Bring your head back up and your body back up and just take a little turn to the right and a turn to the left with your neck. Bring your head back to neutral. Take some circles, drawing the letter O with your nose. I think it's really helpful to start small and then go bigger if your neck is comfortable with this movement. Like a big spiral. And then pausing and reversing that spiral. Starting again small if you want to, or going from big to large, small. It's up to you. There's no really wrong way as long as you're listening to what your body's telling you. Bring your head back to neutral. Nice job. All right, begin to sit forward in the chair. I'm going to practice a breath that I don't often teach, but I always practice it. So thought I'd recommend it to you. And again, if I didn't mention it, if you just joined, there's an option to have a strap. It's just an enhancement. It's not native. A strap or a scarf, and either a block or a low footstool. Okay. So if you don't need it and don't want it, that's okay. All right, take your time. So we're going to practice this breath. It's a slow and steady breath. So inhale slowly. And then when you exhale, feel the air at the back of your throat. Like you're going, fogging a mirror, right? So, and then, and one more. Good. Now, if you can do that same sound at the back of your throat without opening your mouth, you can try that. So it's a slow inhale, feeling it at the back of your throat, and a slow exhale. And take one more. Good. And just come back to a natural breath. Any breath practice we do that becomes uncomfortable, just come back to natural breath, all right? So as we're sitting forward, we're going to take and wiggle out a little bit, move things around, move your shoulders, move your body around. Notice what feels good and what's not comfortable today, and just bring it all in. Anything that's not comfortable, you're going to say, I'm going to send you more love, right? All right. So exploring our slow holds. So instead of flowing side to side, we're going to take one side and stay there for a little bit. So take your right hand to your left side, left thigh, left knee, whatever feels comfortable. Draw your spine up a little longer, and then slowly turn to your left, not to your fullest extent, but just to the extent that feels like it's just a little bit of sensation. Look over your left shoulder. And now take 3 of those slow, steady breaths. Inhale. Exhale, back of the throat sensation. Good. And then keep your right hand where it is. Allow that left arm to come forward. We're going to bring the left hand to the left shoulder. And then as we lift that left elbow, allow yourself to lean a little to the right side. So pause here and take 3 rounds of breath. You can keep your hand on your shoulder. You could reach your arm up, or you could drape your hand on your head. Good. So 3 steady breaths here. Good. When you're ready to release that, come out of this, unwind the arms. Good. And then just kind of move things around again. So we're going to contrast. Sometimes we move back and forth. Today, we're going to kind of keep it in one pose for a little while. So it gives you a chance to explore that. All right. So this time, left hand goes to the right. Draw up your spine. And then turn your body to the right and reach your right arm behind you. Again, we're keeping it soft, nothing that's intense here. And take your 3 slow, steady breaths. While you're doing that, notice if you're leaning one side or another and try to keep the hips even. Good. When you're ready to come out of that with your slow, steady breaths, keep your left hand where it is. Start to turn your body forward, and we're going to bring right hand, right shoulder. Good. And then lifting up through the elbow as we lean to the left side. You can stay here, and we're going to take those 3 slow, steady breaths again. So always feel free to change your arm position. You can bring the arm down. You can bring the arm up. You can reach. Good. And continue that slow, steady breath. Bring your attention inward. What do you feel? Do you need to change something? When you've taken your 3 rounds of breath, you're simply going to come back up, release, good, and move things around. So there's a lot of value in really slowing things down. It's not so exciting to watch, but I really want you to draw the attention inward to your body. All right, now take your hands to the sides of your chair. You might even use your fingertips behind you. We're going to roll the shoulders back, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if you have your fingertips behind you, we're rolling the shoulders back and lifting the chest, letting the shoulder blades come together and gently looking up into a bit of a cow pose. And then taking your deeper breaths, slow, steady breaths here. Feeling those shoulders, the front of your chest. If you want, you can bring chin up and down. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll just come out of that pose back to a natural, neutral spine. Okay. So we're kind of breaking down cat-cow. We're breaking down the spinal movements into something shorter. All right. And then conversely, we can round, curl the tailbone under, bring the shoulders forward, bring the chin to the chest. Pull the belly in just a little, and then pause here. 3 slow, steady breaths. Think about expanding the back of the shoulder blades here, as if you were breathing into your back. And then again, you can keep your chin to chest, or you can lift the head up and down a few times. Good. And after you're ready and have completed those 3 rounds of breath, come back up to neutral spine. So that really gives us a chance to really see what happens to the body when we move from one pose to the other. All right. And then from here, just reach up and get a little taller from your rib cage to your hips. And you can stay here. You can bring hands to shoulders. If your shoulders are feeling okay and you want to reach up, you can. And just take a long, steady breath. Let's go with just one more here. Good. And then exhaling to release. Hands to thighs. Hinge forward at your hips. And either keep your hands on your thighs or feel free to bring your forearms to your thighs. So we're going to keep this a slow, just a very small forward fold to start with. Because I want you to notice, most of us tend to go as far as we can go right away, but hold here and notice what's happening in your body. Does it matter if you draw the belly in or relax your belly? Does it change how it feels in your pose? And then while you're here, let the head nod no. So you're letting your nose go right and left. Good. And then bring your hands back to your thighs and slowly come back up. Good. One more time. Hands reach behind us. Lift your chest. Roll the shoulder blades back, look up. Take your cow pose. 3 steady breaths. Feel free to wiggle if that feels good. Feel free to stay put or let go of the pose. Good, and then release your cow pose, and then counter your back bend with a rounding and back into your cat pose. So again, just kind of feeling this pose for 3 rounds of breath, either keeping it still or feeling free to wiggle a little right and left here. Here comes Lulu. Bye, Lulu. All right, and then come back up to neutral. Good. Take the feet wider. And then explore your forward fold here. Just hinging at the hips, hands to thighs, forearms to thighs. Good. And before you go too far, just pause by wiggling right and left here. Keeping it super gentle today. Good. If you want to go deeper, you can reach your hands to your shins. You can bring your hands in front of you. We were having the option of our block or footstool. Another nice thing is to place your hands into whatever you have in front of you and give that some support so you're not hanging in your forward fold, unless you like to hang, and that's okay. All right, and then slowly bring your hands back to your thighs and roll up so that you feel lower back, middle back, shoulders, and head come up. Good job, everybody. Let's take a little water break and we'll move into the next series of poses I have planned. So take a moment, do me a quick favor and let me know how everything's going so far. How are you feeling? Thumbs up, thumbs down, an thumbs up, okay, good. You're an and that's okay. It happens. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to explore our straight leg pose. I have one block in front of me. And you don't need the block. You could just stretch your legs out in front. All right, you could just stretch your legs out in front. And my knees are a little bit bent here. Hold on to your chair if you're feeling a little unsteady, okay? So just notice that this full staff pose can be pretty intense, especially if you hold on and lean forward. So here's our first check on how the back of the legs are feeling. So that's what we call staff pose. All right, remember steady breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up. And we're going to take and break that up. So the right leg is going to stay where it is. The left leg is going to bend and open out into like a butterfly wing. This is where the block or your footstool can be made a little bit enhancement. So your foot can be up a little higher and then let that knee open out to the side. And just as everything we do, if it doesn't feel right in your body, then just skip it. You can simply bring your foot down and stay there, okay? All right, so extending that right leg as much as you can, and then holding on to the back of your chair. We're gonna lean forward and see how that feels. Just the one leg is getting a little extra. Good. Slow, steady breaths. Good, slowly come back up. And then I'm going to give you the option, if you have your strap, of doing it again, this time with the strap on that right foot and the straps in the right hand. Okay? I know Lulu's partly in my way, but all right. And your left hand can still hold on to the chair behind you. So now when we come forward, you have something to pull into with that right arm. So just something a little different than what we normally do here. Maybe getting a deeper stretch at the back of that leg. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come back up. Unwind the strap. Take that left leg off to the left, bend the right knee, and then the left knee is coming in and out. Good. So we're kind of getting into the hips. All right. Before we go to second side, we're going to take that left knee over the right knee or cross left ankle over right ankle. Okay, your choice. And then the right hand's going to hold on to that left knee. And then let yourself turn to the left. And then while we're holding this with our slow, steady breaths, you can let your head look to the left. Inhale. Exhale, look forward. Inhale, turn the head to the left. Exhale, look forward. Good. And one more. And then when your head turns forward, go ahead and bring yourself forward here. Good. Uncross the leg. Stretch, shake everything out. Beautiful. So we're just kind of slow, steady stretches today. I did a class earlier in the week that left me pretty sore. So I'm kind of finding ways to kind of release some of that tension. All right. So second side, left leg is extended. And this is how it looks sideways. So you've got a little bit in the knee. Your heel is down, your toe is up. Okay. All right. Right foot is either flat and knee bent, or you bring your foot onto a block or your footstool. You can keep it upright, or you can bring it out into like a butterfly pose, okay? Okay, now first start out by holding onto the back of the chair and then letting the shoulders stay back as you start to lean forward. So pause, breathe. Take two more steady breaths. Feel that movement at the back of your throat. Notice if you're holding any tension in your neck, and let your neck relax. Good, and then coming back up when you're ready. We're going to go into it one more time, and this time if you want, you can take the option of bringing the strap onto that left foot, and maybe the strap is just in your left hand, while the right hand holds onto the chair. If you're feeling like your chair is pretty steady, you can use both hands, okay? All right, so again, forward folds, little bend in that left knee, right leg is out into an external rotation. Feel free to walk the hand down or draw the elbow back. And breathe, 3 steady breaths. Good, and then slowly coming back from that. Good. This time we release the strap and then take the left leg off to the side and then in and out. So we're kind of done with the strap for now. And then this time we're going to take that left knee, either left knee over right knee or left ankle over right ankle and knees together. And if you want to bring it up high, it's okay. We're going to take the right hand and draw the knee in toward the center and then let our body turn to the left. So you might be hugging your arm. You might be hugging your leg in with your right hand, your right elbow. 3 steady breaths here. What do you discover as we move through this pose or hold the pose? We'll take an inhale to look back. Exhale to look forward. Inhale to the left. Exhale, look, head turns forward. And one more, inhale back. And exhale forward and let your twists go. Uncross the leg. Nice job. Shake it out. So we're now kind of just seeing how this whole pose is working for us. And then we'll end up by taking that forward fold one more time, but this time both legs extended. So your option is, if you're feeling like you want to hold on to the chair, hold on to the chair and lean forward. If your chair feels like it's very steady and you want to bring the strap across both feet, you can. I'm just going to hold on to my chair. So now notice if this forward fold feels different than the first time we did it. Breathe, slow, steady breaths. When we hold a pose, it gives you longer time to really explore the sensations in the pose. Adjusting where you need to. And then slowly come back up. Good. Bend the knees, set the feet on the ground. Good job. All right. So it's a lot of hip work and a lot of spinal work as we've moved through this different thing. Let's go ahead and stretch out the hands a little bit. So clasp your hands together, gently press them forward. See how they feel in the fingers, the wrists. Good. You can do in and out, and in and out. Good. And then reach back, lift the palms up, draw the shoulder blades back, arch here, beautiful. And then again, clasp the hands, opposite hand on top, the way that feels weird. And then turn the palms forward and then again, press. And you can always do down instead or up. Okay, your choice. Yogi's choice today. Good, and then release the arms. Again, finding any movement that feels good through your spine. And then release. All right, good job. All right, let's take one more water break. We'll take a water break and I'm going to explore a little bit of Warrior 2 with you today. I didn't see most of you yesterday, so I saw one of you yesterday, so I'm not getting a repeat. All right, so Warrior 2, we're going to explore that same sense of how do we make the pose softer and how do we make the pose stronger. And today I'm going to emphasize the softer version, okay? So Warrior 2, let's make sure our hips are ready. We're going to bring these in and out and then just feeling that hip movement there. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to keep the left leg forward and the right leg out to the right. All right, so right leg is out, and then the left leg can stay here, or if you want to try and stretch it out, you can stretch it out. Good, so this is our Warrior 2 legs. Notice that you can press and strengthen into this, or you can soften into the pose. So your choice, okay? All right, and then add the arms. So we're going to do fingers to shoulders this time. Good, and elbows up. Shoulders relaxed. This is our soft version. So what can you do to make this softer? All right. And then add a reverse. So right elbow up, left elbow down. Expanding to that right rib cage. And then back up, inhale. And this time, right elbow down. Maybe you let your right hand rest on your thigh and left elbow up. And noticing that side of the body. Good. And throughout this, I'm not going to count your breath. I'm going to let you count your own breath. You don't have to count, just breathe, right? Steady breath. So one more time, right elbow up, left elbow down. Good. And then back out to center. And then as we lean to the right hand can support the thigh and the left hand can stay on the shoulder. Good. We'll do it one more time and I'll give you a different option this time. So now this time, as the right elbow comes up, you could take that right arm up and over and let that left hand rest on the thigh. Maybe even wrap your left hand behind you if that feels okay in your shoulder. And take 3 steady breaths here in our reverse warrior. Where can you soften here? And are you still breathing to connect to your movement? Good. And then the opposite variation would be right hand to thigh or forearm to thigh. Left hand to shoulder or left arm reaching up and over. So this is a little stronger. And if you want even more, you can press into that right forearm to let that left shoulder spin back a little bit more. And 3 steady breaths. Always feel free to come out if you need to come out, okay? What do you feel? Are you still breathing? Good, and then come back up to Warrior 2. Good, relax the arms down. Ooh, I know my shoulders got a little tired. Now we're gonna bring the hips forward. Good, and then again, you can take your half forward fold, hinge at the hips, or deeper. And again, if you still have your footstool or block, you can definitely press your hands into that if that feels good. There's nothing that says we have to go as far as possible. but you can go there if that feels good for you, okay? And if you're in a forward fold, let yourself wiggle a little side to side, let the head move around, maybe let the head hang down. All right, and then slowly coming back up, bring your hands back to your thighs, slowly come up, head last. Good. And move to second side. So we'll start with knees forward on this instead. And then left foot moves to the left. Move my notes out of the way. All right, so you can stay here. This is perfectly fine. If you want to stretch out the right leg, you can. Good. And finding just whatever sensations you notice through your hips, your glutes, any of those things. All right, so here's our warrior two. Our chest is trying to face forward if possible. And then hands to shoulders. Can you soften your shoulders? All right. And then we'll reverse. So right elbow down, left elbow up. Notice this is happening through the torso more than through the shoulders. And then back to center. And then as we tilt to the left hand can come down to the thigh, and then the right elbow can lift. So this is just kind of a slightly different variation of this. And then again, if you want to. Good. Nice. It really kind of gives you a chance to see how far do I actually want to go. If you want, right arm can start to stretch out. Back to center. So pick the soft one, or if you want to go a little stronger, what we're going to do is bring the right hand to the thigh, left elbow up, maybe extend the left arm, maybe wrap the right hand behind us. Pick something that's sustainable for you, and 3 steady breaths here. So if you find it's not sustainable, feel free to unwind a little bit, back off a little bit. Good, and then to come out of this, hands back to shoulders. This time the left hand will be on the thigh or left forearm to the thigh. And we can either lift that right elbow up or stretch out the right arm. And if you're here, allow yourself to gently press into that forearm to spin the right shoulder back a little bit. And take 3 rounds of breath. Now where your head is really up to you. You can look down, you can look forward, and you can look up. Either one of those. Good. After those 3 steady breaths, come on out of the pose. Relax the arms. Bring the knees forward. Nice job. All right. And then either wide leg forward fold or knees together and forward fold. Your choice. I like wide leg because it gives them more space for the front of our body. But you can try the one that's knee together and see how that feels. It's a little bit different in the back. Good. And then hands to thighs, slowly come back up. Nice job, guys. All right, legs fly, a little bit of windshield wiper movement. Good. And then next time we go to the right, pause there, look over your left shoulder. Notice what you feel. Good. And then come back through center. And the next time the knees go to the left, look over your right shoulder. And pause and breathe. One more thing from this side. We'll come back to center and swing back over to the right. And then the left arm, you're going to take your palm so it's facing forward and then reach back and feel the shoulder blade draw back in the chest lift. Good. Notice how that feels. That's our locust pose. You can come in and out of the pose. So an inhale and an exhale, or you can hold it for 3 steady breaths. Good, and releasing when you're ready. So that's our locust pose. It's really good for the back. It strengthens the muscles in the back. And then the second side. All right, so right palm faces forward and then reach back. Good, let the shoulder roll back, let the chest lift, look up. And your choice, do you want to come in and out of the pose with 3 breaths, or do you want to hold for 3 breaths? Steady breaths. Good. And then release that when you're ready. Come back to center. Nice job. Woo. Sit back in your chair for a moment. Let everything integrate. How did it feel? We haven't even left our chairs yet. How did it feel to move through the spine, the hips, the legs, and everything while we were still in our chair? All right, so now I'm going to give you the option to move the little same warrior two poses from standing. And if you don't want to stand, it's okay. You're just going to do it from the chair. All right, so if you're ready, go ahead and make your way up to standing pose. Just standing. That's not a pose, just standing. And you'll have your chair either in front of you or off to the side. All right. The first thing is just kind of move the hips around, see how they feel. You go side to side, you can circle it around. Good. All right, you can swing it side to side, finding a little bit of the twisting movement. All right. And one thing we didn't spend too much time was our feet and ankles. So you're just gonna hold on to your chair and move one ankle around. If you're not needing to hold on to your chair, you can test your balance, right? All right, and then switch. Circle. Good. And bring it down. And then holding onto your chair, lifting the heels. Good, and then lifting the toes. Good. All right. Okay. And then now we'll take our feet wide. It can be hip width, anything more than hip width up to the width of our, where our wrists fall, okay? It doesn't have to be that wide. And you can always hold on to your chair. So if you have your chair on your right side, that can be pretty helpful. And then we're just gonna keep the toes facing forward and the feet parallel with each other. Wiggle out the hips for just a moment. And find the space where you feel even right to left. All right, and then turn your right foot, toes pointing to the right. Good. You can stay there or you can bend that right knee so the right knee is over the ankle. Generally try to press your knee toward your pinky toe side. Most of us try to let our knee drift in toward the center, try to press it out. All right, so here's our warrior two. We can be here, we can be here, right? And then we can do the same thing we did before. Is left elbow down, right elbow up. Good. And then back to center. And we're not going to do really long holds on this one. And then right elbow down, let the hand rest on the thigh and lift up the left elbow. Coming into our side angle. Good. And then again. And this time we're going to do just one more. And this time bring the left hand to the thigh or wrap it behind you. And the right elbow can come up or you can reach that right arm up and over. Good. And then unwind. Good. And then the variation would be right hand or forearm to the right thigh. Left arm up. Pressing into the forearm to spin that left elbow back or left shoulder back a little bit more. Good. And then come back up. One thing we can do a little differently now that we're standing is to straighten the right leg. Before we were always having the leg bent, and then let the left hip reach out to the left. Good, so your right hand can be on your chair or on your thigh, and we're just gonna slide it down. I even like to bring the back of my hand on the inside of the thigh before I come into this triangle pose. Good, and then come back up. Nice job. All right. Phew, coming out of that pose, turn your toes forward. Bring your hands to your hips. Slowly draw your shoulders back, look up, stretching through the front of your body. And then come back to upright. Little bend in the knees, hinge at your hips. You can stay halfway down, a third of the way down. You may want to bring your hands to your chair or your footstool or block that you might have brought with you. For a wide leg forward fold that's not intense. So feel free to kind of just play here for a little bit. Check your breath. Good. And then bring your hands back to your hips and slowly come back up. All right. So now we go to the second side. So now your left toes spin out toward the left side. And then you bend your left knee. Once again, think about where your knee is. If it's drifting in, you want to try to press it to the pinky toe side. You might feel some different muscles activate there. All right. How do you find the steadiness of this pose without straining? So just play with that. Where do I need to put effort? All right. Hands to shoulders, elbows up, shoulders relaxed. There's a lot of difference there, right? All right. So now inhale, left elbow up, right elbow down. Good. And breathe as much as you need to here. I'm not really going to count your breath, and bring it back. Good. And now as your left elbow comes down, you can release your left hand to the thigh. The right elbow can continue to reach up. Good. And then we'll come back up. Always give yourself the option to straighten the leg if you need a break. All right. And then the final version, right hand to thigh or right hand behind the back. Left elbow reaches up, maybe reaching the whole arm up and over into our peaceful or reverse warrior. Good. And then backing out of that, this time left hand to thigh, maybe forearm to thigh. And then the right hand can reach up and over. Gently press into your left forearm and spin that right shoulder back a little. Breathe. Where's your breath? Good. And then coming back up. Relax the arms, straighten the left leg. Good. And this time, we're going to bring that right hip over to the right. Let the left hand be on the thigh or with the back of the hand against the thigh. So we're going to create a little bit of tension here, and then the right hand can be on the shoulder or reaching up. And breathe. Slow, steady breaths. Good. Use your inhale to come back up. Good. Relax the arms. Turn your toes forward. We're going to heel toe the feet together. Woo. Release the march with a swing, with a dance, anything you need. Okay. So let go any way you want to. And before we make our way to seated, if you're ready to sit, it's okay. But if you'd like to do a downward facing dog, you can have hands on the back of your chair. Or, so I'll give you a couple options. We'll do this one first, and then I'll show you the second option. Hands on the back of the chair, step it back, bend your knees, reach your hips over your heels, let your head drop between your arms. And just feel that length all the way from your hands to your tailbone. Let the head relax here. Good. And then coming out of this, look forward and walk forward. You can do the same one again, or if you want to try a different variation, you can turn to face your seat or have your seat facing you. And I like to do this one with wide leg, but you can do it with legs. And we're hinging at the hips, bringing the hands to the chair or forearms to the chair. And then stepping back to a downward facing dog. So you get kind of different sensation. The lower you go with your hands, the more you'll feel it in certain places. Now, slow, steady breaths here. Good. And then if you're a little bit worried about how you're going to get out of it, you're just going to walk your hands towards you and slowly walk your feet forward. All right. All right. And then slowly, and then bringing your torso back up. Nice job. As we come to our mountain pose, we'll take just one big circle. Inhale, reach out and up. Good. And exhale, hands to heart. Pause there. Close your eyes. Come back to a natural breath. Good. And then gently Releasing your hands, we'll start to make our way back to the seat. So have a seat, grab some water if you want to. Good. I always like to give you the chance to experience the poses internally. So rather than looking at me and trying to always copy exactly what I'm doing, I would like you to turn your attention inward and adjust it so that it feels best in your body. You may find that yours is way different than mine, and that's okay. Lulu's already snoring. All right, so go ahead and sit back in your chair for a moment. Just notice how it feels to have the support of the chair behind your back. And we did a lot of work for the feet, so feel free to rotate the feet, ankles around a bit. Good, and then paddle them. All right, so we did, and we didn't even do our balance pose, but that's okay. We did plenty. So let's play with my favorite stretch is the pigeon pose. All right, so coming forward, we've already done the straight leg one, so instead we're going to do our pigeon pose. All right, so here's an opportunity. If you have a block and you find that it's not easy for you to get your ankle to your thigh, here's an opportunity to play with your foot on the block instead, okay? So your choice, you can have your foot on your footstool or your block, or you can bring your right ankle to your thigh. Good. And then just notice what's talking to you here. Is it good? Is it bad? So anytime it's uncomfortable or extremely painful, then you want to maybe adjust that. And then from that position, you may find that you want to come forward, hinging at the hips. Let the head relax. Find 3 steady breaths. You want to back off? Do you want to go deeper? It's really your choice here. Good. And then when you're ready, slowly come back up. Good. This time we'll take a twist by bringing the right hand to the right ankle or your foot if you want to. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. And then twisting to the left. 3 steady breaths here. Good. And then unwinding your twist, lifting your leg, doing a little rock the cradle. You can hold on to any part that you can reach. All right. And then stretch out the right leg, shake it out. Good. And then we can just reach out, left arm up, right arm down, stretching out through that leg. Good. And then release. All right. Setting up for second side. Right leg stays where it is. Left ankle, left foot either comes to the thigh or on the edge of the block. Okay, so your choice. What works for your hip here? We're really just trying to come into a little bit of a hip opener, hip extension here. All right, and then same thing. Sit up tall, inhale. Exhale, if you want to come forward, we're hinging at the hips and then pausing whenever our body tells us to. So take 3 steady breaths whenever you get to where you want to hold the pose. Notice if you're holding tension in your face, in your jaw, in your neck, and let go of that. Good. After your 3 steady breaths, gently come back up. Taking a twist with the left hand to the ankle or the foot, and then spinning and twisting to your right. 3 steady breaths here. And unwinding your twist. Doing a little rock the cradle here. Nice. All right, and then stretch out the left leg, shake it out. You've done a lot of hip work. You can stay here, you can reach right arm diagonally, left arm down. Feel the length of your whole body, getting stronger, longer, taller. And then release. I wish I could get taller. It doesn't really happen. It just feels like I'm getting taller, right? It doesn't really happen. All right. And we'll do a couple of arm stretches. So just right arm across the body, hug it in with the left side. Good. And just really kind of stretching along the back of that shoulder. You're welcome to twist a little to the left if that feels good. And while you're here, go ahead and open and close that right hand. Then release the right arm down. Give yourself a pat on the back. So it's either hand to shoulder or all the way back, and the left hand can hold it up or reach for the elbow. So lots of options here. If it feels good, you can lean to the left. Remember the slow, steady breaths. The best way to remember to breathe is to start practicing a very mindful breath. Release. Good. And other side. So left arm across the chest, right hand hugs it in. Finding a little twist to the right if that feels good. And then opening, closing that left hand. And then releasing that left arm. Pat on the back. You may just be hand at shoulder. If you can reach back, your right hand can help hold it up. Or you can reach for your elbow. And if you're here and you want to take a lean to the right, you can. Good. That's a good adjustment. I can see that. All right. And then unwind, release. Shoulders are hopefully pretty happy. Go ahead and sit all the way back in your chair. If there's one more thing you want to do before we move into our final relaxation, feel free to take a forward fold or lean back or anything you want, okay? Yeah, we didn't do a lot of neck work, so feel free to move your neck around a little bit more. Yeah, that's a good one. It's always good to hold the back of the neck and let your head rest back into your hands. So anything you want to. So you all don't think I'm watching you. If you're live on this, I'm watching you. It's only if we get to 100 people, I won't be able to see you, what you're doing. And it's never happened, so. All right. Beautiful. So, head to toe, fingers, anything you need to. We're gonna start to move into our final relaxation. So sitting all the way back in your chair. Good. Settling in, take a deep breath. Let it go with a sigh. So we can let go of that sound at the back of the throat and just come back to natural breath. But if you need more of that big inhale and a big exhale, that's our cleansing breath. Feel free to do that. Start to make yourself more comfortable in your chair. What can you relax just a little more? The thighs, the glutes, the back, the neck, the throat, the face, and even the space between your eyebrows. You can close your eyes if you'd like to. And allow your breath to come to a steady, not a steady breath, but just its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm may be different than anybody else's. Think about it, a wave on the ocean. The wave washes up. It has a little pause before it spins around and goes back out to the sea. So without any effort, let yourself rest and stay with that visualization of the wave up and back on the ocean, on the beach. And gently bringing your awareness back to this moment. Noticing where you are, where you feel the breath moving through the body. If you'd like to find a little bit of movement, you can start to wiggle fingers and toes, move wrists around, move the ankles around. Maybe letting the head move in any way that feels good. Take a bigger breath, a bigger stretch. And then just find the length of your body. And then let it go. Good. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Turn your palms up. Acknowledge everything that's good with you today. You bring your hands together in the center of your heart. Carry that gratitude with you into the day. I hope that you are healthy and happy and safe today. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.